Namaskar. Today we're going to discuss some modifications with downward dog. Not everyone can do downward dog all the way to the mat, and we're taking a hypothetical situation where someone has trauma to the tailbone. So with this case where someone has trauma to the tailbone, they have an injury to the base of the SI joints, and we know that what's going to happen is that anytime they are seated, usually in this case, they're going to be very uncomfortable. So we're trying to get some kind of a stretch around that area, and what I decided was that we could use the chair instead of using the floor. Now, the chair for the downward dog position is usually not seen except for in chair yoga classes, but it can be used in therapeutic application and also for a third trimester of prenatal yoga. So, in this case, let's just say we have a student who, for one reason or another, cannot get to the floor. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask Marie to go ahead and just do monkey first. She's doing monkey pose, and I'm going to ask you to bend your knees a little and then straighten out your back and try to level the back. Yep, that's it. So what we're doing is we're trying to level the back off as much as it will go. Not everyone's perfect. You're going to get some people, I had mentioned before, that have a thoracic hump in this area, especially, unfortunately, the older students may have some of that going. So why are we doing this? We're trying to extend the spine and draw from this area here. This is the area where we have the injury. All we're trying to do is get as much of a stretch to this area as possible. Go ahead and do downward dog, but keep your head up. Now, extend out with your spine and bring your head in line. Okay, when she was in the upward position, this would have been one good example for, say, someone who had high blood pressure. Now that her head is slightly below the heart, we're assuming that she does not have high blood pressure. If she has high blood pressure, then her head would come up a little. But in this case, what we're doing is we're getting a good extension. This person can hold this pose for a long time. Whereas some people will say, downward dog, no problem, I can hold that for minutes. How old are you? Because there are some students who I have who are over 70 years old who can do downward dog for quite a long time. And there are some students who I have who are over 70 years old who can't even get to the floor. So that's one thing. How old are you and what have you been through in life? What kind of injuries have you had in the past? So we're just modifying this for whoever they are, whatever they are, and whatever type of health they're in at the time. Obviously, some people are going to be able to get a lot out of just regular downward dog. Okay, come on up, Marie. All right, so that gave you some options that you could do. Obviously, there's another one, and this one I'm going to ask Marie to face the wall. She's going to do what we call an inverted L pose. An inverted L is a back extension where what she's doing is drawing the spine as straight as you could. You could do this at home off the kitchen counter. And those of you who do in-home teaching, you want to also show your clients exercises, asanas, pranayama techniques, and meditation techniques that they can do on their own. We want our students to be independent as much as they can. They're not going to stop calling us back anyway. So come around this way. She's going to start out with monkey pose, facing the wall. Okay, you might be a little too close for your arms. Yep, okay, good. And then I'm going to ask you from here to, I'm going to ask you to bring the upper, bring the upper back up a little bit. Okay, so This is about as straight as we're going to get. Go ahead and reach out with your arms. Okay, do you feel like you're too far away or just right?
Oh, that's just fine.
Okay, what we're trying to do is neck in line all the way, neck in line all the way to the tailbone, okay? Now, if we're really close, just like we did for mecha pose a week ago, we extended the arms out a little bit. So go ahead and extend your arms out to the side. Yep. So we've got a 45 degree. Now what we're doing is we're drawing off this area. This isn't going to require as much strength as a downward dog at all, but the balancing and the stretching and the flexibility is all into this area. Okay. Now, also, if you want to now start to straighten out the knees, but please don't lock them. Okay, so what we've got now is a little bit more of a stretch, pulling from both areas. Thank you, Marie. Come on up. Okay, so what happened is we've modified this particular asana quite a bit so that it could accommodate anyone in any shape. The people that it might not have applied to would be someone who was wheelchair bound, okay? In which case, I have a modification for that as well. So, on that one, I'm going to have Marie sit in this chair. And we're going to imagine that Marie is wheelchair bound, and I'm going to ask you to scoot forward about halfway. I did this so that her feet can land completely flat on the ground. Bring your knees out wider than your ribs. Good. Marie has never done this modification before. Okay? Draw yourself down so you fold up. Yep. Good. And either reach, and she did while she's reaching toward the floor. Some clients you're going to get are not going to be able to do this. The same principle is involved here. Okay, I want to wish all of you much success with these types of ideas, and I want you to understand one thing. You have to get feedback from your student and ask your student if they're feeling pain. If they're feeling pain, you have to back off. With that in mind, I want to wish you farewell. Om Shanti.